These words take rappers to the church like pastors. Stepping with my weapon on, repping what I'm stepping on. Check that I've been sketching on, protect what I'm investing on. Her ring was off, her dress was on. She do it till the rest is gone. Then she made a mess all on the bed that I was resting on. Rub me till the stress is gone, smoke it till the press is gone. They put me in the center, I'm the one that they investing on. Pull up on your block and I spin it again till I empty it. Spitting on niggas, they mad and they envy it. Plus, niggas got hoes.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
What is up?
Welcome to the Two Dumb Yinzers, episode 114.
114.
114.
You old Donald in the house somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not convinced of that, man. Once I heard that story about Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd, I don't know.
He's buried. Him and Jimmy Hoffa buried in the same place, along with Amelia Earhart.
You're right.
They're all out there somewhere.
Hell no. So what it do, man? What it do? Brand new week, man.
Brand new week. The first Monday without Vincent Kennedy McMahon in charge of the WWE.
He retired from the WWE CEO spot, huh?
Well, I guess all those allegations coming down the pipe, you know, what's best for business is to step away.
You know, on the other hand, though, I was thinking, does it really affect the WWE negatively when these kind of things happen? You know what I mean? When Owen Hart falls from the rafters to his death, when Draws does a backflip, lands on his neck and gets paralyzed. I mean, has any of these crazy stories, scandals, etc., really made a negative impact on WWE over the years?
Well, they survived the steroid scandal. They survived all the injuries, Owen Hart's death. But I think this one now, because they're a publicly traded company, and you know, where's the money coming from? And they start investigating. Did Vince use his own money? Did he use the company's money to pay off all these people that he, you know, harassed or did stuff to? So it's, you know, what's best for business, and Vince is always about what's best for business. So I can see him being convinced finally that now, one, with your age, it's time to step down. Two, all these allegations, you're affecting the company that you helped build, that this empire that you brought all the way up to this to where it is now. It's best for you to step away. That's what's best for business, pal.
My question is, our boy Shane O'Mac gonna pop up anywhere in the
Here comes the money.
Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Shane O'Mac, does he pop back up in the company now that Vince is gone?
No.
No?
I was just reading, you know, Vince said that Shane will never get another pop in the WWE. You know, if people don't know what the pop is, that's that big crowd reaction. And Shane O'Mac always got a big pop because people loved him because he would do crazy shit, even at his old age. And then apparently him and Stephanie are not on good terms as well, because, you know, Stephanie was the one that was groomed for the company, and she's going to do what dad wants.
Yeah.
So I can see Shane O'Mac being done with wrestling. I don't see him going to AEW or any other small independent place. I think he's
like, it's like you got, you know, the WWE, the most successful you know, wrestling company in the history of ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at some point you think maybe there might be a rekindle, maybe, hey guys, this is fucking crazy, you should be involved, Shane, to some degree. You know what I mean? Now that Vince is gone, you might get that change. You might,
but this isn't like the first time Shane's been like forced out. He was out for a long time. He was never on, and then, you know, things changed. He comes back, and like one of Vince's sayings is like, never say never, because you know, never try to burn the bridge with any of the company or with any of the wrestlers, because you never know what's going to happen down the line. So it wouldn't surprise me if he shows back up, you know, years down the line, coming back in for something.
You know, just like I said, at some point, you know, maybe they're sitting down over Christmas one year and they just, you know, had a couple of drink and they said, you know what, this is crazy. Let's get you back involved somehow. And, you know, you just never know.
Yeah, because people still go crazy for Shane.
Absolutely.
Even for how old he is, because, you know, he's still willing. Last time he was out there, he was doing crazy shit.
He jumps from one turnbuckle to the other. I just, you know, you gotta love what the guy does, you know, when he's involved.
Yeah, and you know, he takes it seriously when he's in there. He's not in there as a novelty act. He's in there to do what needs to be done. So I hope he comes back, because it'd be cool to see him one more time.
Yeah, he's never shied away from doing his job.
No, and he's still out there doing those ridiculous things at his age. He's nuts.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, first time in forever, no Vince McMahon.
That is crazy,
It's
man.
wild.
First time, you know, basically ever since I knew what wrestling was.
Me too. That's all I knew was Vince McMahon. Like, for the longest time, I never knew he was the owner. I thought he was just the commentator.
Right.
Like, for, you know, like, who's this schlub? Then you know, because back in that day, you know, you didn't know what was going on, because, you know, they kept everything close to the vest. You didn't have all these, you know, the internet and everyone else telling you everything.
He just like a dorky ring announcer. Remember?
Yeah, he looked like a knockoff Michael Buffer calling the action.
And he had that butt chin.
But he still had one of the greatest heel characters of all time, Mr. McMahon.
Absolutely.
When him and Austin were going, I was like, that was the best.
Yeah. Now, is it possible down the road? Is it possible that they might invite Vince back for a role, for a temporary spot? I mean, is that possible? I mean, they do it to other guys that haven't been involved in WWE. They pay them, they come in, do a job, and then that's it. I mean, is it possible that Vince McMahon could be, you know, he could be used in that way down the road?
Give him the Legends contract that they give those old guys that come back, that you're just saying.
Right.
That would actually be kind of funny, because he stepped down as just owner, CEO, whatever he is.
Yeah.
And, you know, no longer in charge of creative and all that. So I bring him back as a personality every once in a while.
Absolutely, man.
Because, you know, it will piss a bunch of people off, and people will come in to tune in to see what is he going to say.
You're right. Absolutely.
Like
talk about a pop, man. As soon as Vincent K. McMahon comes walking out, that place goes crazy. I don't care who you are, who it is. You know?
Like when that first allegations came out, you know, he was like, oh, he's going to make an announcement on SmackDown. He came out, just said a couple words, and the people tuned in just to see what he was going to say.
Absolutely.
And it will draw a number. And, you know, like Eric Bischoff used to say, or still says, controversy creates cash. So why not bring him back in?
People like to hear about the top dog. People like to hear about what Jeff Bezos is doing, what Elon Musk is doing. It's interesting to regular people.
Yeah.
We want to hear what these guys have to say. We want to hear what their take is. You know, I'd be really excited, man.
I would too. I'll tune in and watch. You know, it's Vince McMahon. How can you know, the biggest promoter of like wrestling ever, the biggest promoter of like a side, quote unquote, like sideshow type thing, because that's what wrestling started out was, is like more or less carnival sideshow shit, and it had that carny feel to it. So he's the greatest to ever do it. I just love now, like I was reading stuff back in the day, you know, they had all like the different wrestling territories, and Vince destroyed them. Like Vince bought them all out, ran them better than they could, and took wrestling to heights no one else could.
Yeah.
Is he a sleazy person? Yeah. But, you know, he took a form of entertainment that a lot of people love to new heights, and brought more people to it, and made the industry better. You know,
absolutely.
He brought it's a business. So how do you judge business? By money. He brought more money into that business than anyone else.
It has been a thriving company in our pop culture, in our Just think from when you were a kid, when, you know, Earthquake and Jake the Snake Roberts, all the way to the present time. I mean, does it go up and down like a roller coaster? Of course it does. However, you know, was there any time that you really had to force people to come into those seats at those arenas? You know, there was a time whenever they were losing to WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, there was a time, but you know what I mean? It never stayed down. It was always right back up. That company has always been a success.
Yeah. because you had like, you know, the height of Hulkamania, then it went down when you had like the Nash HBK era, then it started to slowly rise, and then, you know, once WCW more or less pulled the curtain back on the industry, let people use their real names, and then that led to the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then from there it was just a rocket ship.
Yeah.
And viewership has gone down from then, but you still had making hand over fist money during the John Cena era.
Right.
Then during the PG era, they're still making money. They make so much money, it's unreal.
And you know, the funny thing is, they've been basically rerunning the same storylines for 30 years. It isn't like they've come up with anything that split the atom, so to speak.
No.
They've basically been doing the same thing as long as I can remember, yet we keep tuning in every week to see it.
Yeah, and it's same, like you said, same thing over and over, different characters, and that's, you know, and it's, they have that, you know, they know their audiences. They're going to hook the young kids in on it, and they'll bring their parents along. The parents will spend the money, and if they get people in, you know, the older demographics that are still hanging around, that's fine. You know, they just keep churning it out, and people keep watching it, and it's still fun entertainment to watch. We know what it is at this point. Like I watched the last WrestleMania, watching Johnny Knoxville run around, him and Sami Zayn, then all the people from the Jackass universe that came in. People were going nuts for that. People who weren't even wrestling fans were loving that. So that just, you know, you have WWE does it the right way. They make it for everyone. There's a little bit for everyone in there. They have their comedy. They have their real wrestling matches. They have their extreme matches. It's just a perfect blend of everything. If you know,
absolutely,
you buy the pay-per-view, spend your $50, you're going to be entertained one way or the other.
Oh, for sure.
Like overall, like some of the shows might suck, but there's going to be those segments that you remember. Like even like you go back, look at the Attitude Era, some of the wrestling wasn't the best, but you still remember like the segments. You still remember the matches because they had the great build to it, and they were just fun to watch.
Absolutely. Triple H is, you know, what's his role moving forward?
He is well, you know, he got let go, then he came back, and then I was just reading today, I think he's still going to be back in charge of NXT, and then he's like going to be more involved in creative. So like I think Bruce Pritchard, who's been Vince's right hand man for on and off for years, he's still in there, and then you have Triple H in there. So, you know, and they'll do what the boss wants.
You're right.
You know, that's like people always hated Pritchard for, like, you know, oh, he's this McMahon stooge. Well, when the boss says tell you to do something, you push back, get your piece in, and the boss listens or does it, and you just go out and do what the boss says. You do that in any line of work. I do it at my job. If I don't agree with my boss, I'll tell him. But at the end of the day, I'll do what the boss says. And that's what that's what the creative has to do. They have to put out ideas. The boss doesn't like it, change it, find out what the boss wants, then roll with it. That's all they can do. So we'll see. Be nice if Paul Heyman gets more involved in there too, because he's still, God, he can still come up with some great shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I would love to see them reach out again to Bischoff again, give him another chance, because he didn't get a good chance his last time in there.
Where's Vince Russo at now?
Oh, shitting all over the wrestling industry.
Oh, really?
Shitting all over Vince. Yeah, he hates McMahon. He hates WWE. He hates AEW. I think the further away from wrestling, him involved in creative, the better.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I was never a big fan of like all of his stuff. He needed like someone to like channel his energy to a place to do, and that was McMahon. But you know, they don't get along.
Right.
So I just don't. I was never a big Russo fan, because you look at his runs in WCW: Viagra on a pole match, Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
I do like listening to Russo talk about the industry is fun. I can sit there and listen to him talk and shit on everyone all day long. I was never a big fan of his creatively.
Yeah, right.
But
I don't know.
I'm interested to see how it goes.
Because like we were saying, we've never not had Vince. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting going forward to see what the company does. You know, just if you can pick out the differences, when you're watching, and just see tell the way that anything's ran differently as far as the company goes. I mean, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, because you're gonna see like, okay, now who was being pushed before he left, who's gonna be pushed now, because they had the big push for
Austin Theory. He was on track to be the youngest champion ever at 24, and he had this great momentum. And he was like Vince's guy. They had the whole storyline where Vince was the heel, he's his guy. But then I guess on SmackDown, Brock destroyed him in like 30 seconds.
Really?
So they could be setting something up there for the future. Who knows? I'm gonna be interested to watch that. I just follow along on Twitter what people are saying. So I'm gonna catch WrestleMania once a year. So we'll find out what's going on.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, I watched a video over the weekend. It was that fight versus Frank Mir. It was real early in his career, maybe his first fight. You know, I've never bit in to Brock Lesnar just being this beast. I always kind of thought he was overrated in a sense. And whenever he was in that ring against Frank Mir, and he's jumping around, and I mean, his titties were kind of floppy. I don't know. The WWE tends to paint these pictures of these guys, so you could, so that's what you think of them. And I'm watching this fight, and he just did not impress me at all. Frank Mir kicked his ass. I think he didn't even make it through one round. And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking, you know what? Compared to some of these other guys, as big and beastie as Brock Lesnar is supposed to be, even next to somebody like Frank Mir, the Mir's legs were bigger than Brock's. He's I don't know. I just never really been into that beast. Everyone kind of puts this guy way up here, when in reality, he hasn't really done much in the sense that everything that he did, they kind of used him as a gimmick. You know what I mean?
Well, he did when he was UFC heavyweight champ, though. So he is
like almost
he won. That's all that matters, though. As long as
did you watch any of his fights?
I never watched his fights, but I know he won the heavyweight championship in UFC. That's no small feat. So it doesn't matter. You win it one time, you're a UFC champ. That's still a badass legacy. He's still one of the greatest.
That's fine and everything, but like I said, go back and watch some of the fights, dude. It is very unimpressive. You know what I mean? Like I said, you just kind of go into an event thinking this guy's gonna be beast mode. He's gonna fuck everybody up. It was the total opposite of that. I was kind of shocked because I didn't watch it back then. I remember it happening, but I thought this is the big deal. this guy's the big deal.
Well, he's a legit NCAA championship wrestler. He's one of the greatest amateur wrestlers of all time. He was a UFC heavyweight champion. I'm sorry, you win any belt in the UFC, that's nothing to shit on. He has a winning record in the
NFL. The NFL.
Yeah, just like just about everyone else who goes out for the NFL. So,
except for the successful one.
Yeah, but then he turned around to become one of the biggest draws in wrestling. I'm sorry,
you're going to be very, very unimpressed. Yeah. That's all.
Who was that other big guy in WWE? The one who was always flipping over cars and shit. I can't remember his name, but everyone thought that guy was a big badass. He botched a move against Brock, and Brock knocked him out with one little jab to his jaw.
Really? So, the thing about Brock, he was always so undisciplined. There was always so many stories when he would wrestle that he would drop guys on their heads the wrong way.
See, I never saw that. I always saw him take care of people.
What's that?
I always saw him take care of people.
I've always, I can't even remember the amount of times that I've heard that there was botched moves and things like that. I don't know. There's never really been any reason to be impressed. There's guys that win fighting championships all the time. There's guys that make it to the NFL and succeed all the time. I don't know.
So just because he didn't make it in the NFL and became the top in another industry, so that doesn't count because he didn't make it in another field?
That doesn't count what? What do you mean?
You're saying he didn't make it in the NFL, other people did, so you're kind of like, whatever he did after that doesn't count.
Well, most of his success is in a business where the end is predetermined. Yes, did he hold on. Yes, did he ultimately do good in the UFC? He did. But like I said, there's the pedestal that they put him on compared to what he really is are two different things.
Well, that's the wrestling industry. You the whole point is to make everyone larger than life.
Well, exactly. But I don't think you're getting what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. It's like, wrestling outcomes are predetermined and all that. But to be the champion, you have to draw. It's all about who can draw the most eyeballs and the most money.
And
you're
exactly.
the most believable. And he is at that.
Fabricated, made up character, basically.
Yeah, and he succeeded at that. And a lot of people can't. A lot of people get that opportunity handed to them on a platter and crumble.
The reason he didn't succeed is because he's such an ego. Everything had to be a thing for him. Everything had to be a thing. Brock Lesnar says, "I'm not going to come out this week and wrestle. I'm not going to show up until the pay-per-view." That's why he did. That's
his contract.
That's why he didn't become successful, because he's a fucking he's dude.
Didn't become successful. The dude's one of the biggest draws in wrestling history.
Because of his gimmick, because of the beast, because he's this big man.
Yeah, same thing with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was unathletic. Kevin Nash was a failed basketball player. Undertaker was a failed basketball player. No one talks about that, but they turned into some of the greatest.
They put their work in. This guy is lazy, Mike.
No, he's not, dude. He's
lazy.
He was down in the Ohio Valley industry. He worked himself from the bottom to the very top. And when he got to the top, he realized he did what every other top guy did, made demands of Vince, and then Vince gave into his demands because he knew, okay, I'll give him this little bit right here because I know I'm going to make so much more in the end.
Exactly.
Vince caters to all the top guys.
Vince played him like a card, dude.
And he played Vince like a card too. Same thing that Austin did. Same thing that Flair did. Same thing that Hogan did. You cater to the top guys. That's what you do in wrestling.
These other guys, there was a dedication and a commitment to the company. This guy, you could always question his dedication and commitment. He's committed
every time he had to be there. He was there. That's all that matters.
And every time that he had, like you said, his contract says I could sit out for a month and then come back to the pay-per-view. Well, guess what? I'm sure as fuck not. I don't give a fuck about him if he's going to sit out all month. You have to promote what you do. You have to promote your matches. You have to get out there and talk a little bit. How you can say, "Oh, all right, I'll see you next month, guys," at the pay-per-view is bullshit. It's lazy. Whatever his contract is, you have to promote yourself, and he wasn't doing it. You know what? He lost me, and he lost a lot of other people in that situation because it's lazy. It looks lazy.
Yeah, but then he has Paul Heyman as his manager going out cutting promos for him every week.
The best thing
and that makes him even bigger because you have Paul Heyman, one of the greatest mouthpieces of all time, doing the talking for you, and you just have to show up every once in a while and whoop ass. He still draws huge numbers. People love to see Brock Lesnar. The more people that have left, there's more that come back in to watch this beast because that's all wrestling is. They promote people larger than life and you go watch them. I mean, look, Roman Reigns, people hated Roman Reigns. Now he's on almost 700 days as champion. He doesn't wrestle a whole lot anymore. And that's what you do. Once you get to that pinnacle, you don't have to wrestle every week. Austin and The Rock weren't wrestling every week. They go out, cut some promos, whoop someone's ass for 30 seconds in the ring.
That's all I gotta say.
When Brock is told to show up, he shows up. That's what he does. You can only do what you're told to do.
When I used to go to wrestling regularly, and I would show up at the arena, and there was a sign on the door that said Stone Cold Steve Austin will not be here tonight. It was devastating. Devastating as a fan, because literally that's the only guy I wanted to see. Like myself, so did a lot of other people. You don't show up for a month. It could have been so much better if he was a guy that went with the way that it's supposed to go. No, he had to be Brock. He had to be separate from everybody else. He has to make his contracts where it's special for him. Like I said, my opinion doesn't matter at the end of the day. However, the thing that does matter, I think, in people's eyes, besides myself, is it looks lazy. He's always came off as he's being put out there. We're talking him up, but everything that came along with him, it seemed lazy, Mike.
But his ring work was never lazy. Every date that he was told,
people, man.
Every time he was supposed to be there, he was there. He didn't have to do house shows, so why would he show up to house shows if he was scheduled to be somewhere? He was always
because he's a money maker. That's why. Don't you want to make money?
The house show business right now is not what it used to be. So
you're right.
They don't really care about the house shows anymore. Now it's about the Raw and SmackDown dates and then the pay-per-views. So, and it's not his. When he was starting out, he did all that stuff. He paid his dues to now where he is at that tippy top to win. He can say, "Hey, this is the schedule I want," and the Vince and all of creative says, "Okay, we'll make it work," and they're making it work. He still draws huge numbers. Him and Roman Reigns draw huge numbers.
Maybe that's it. Maybe if we seen him all the time, he would lose his appeal. Maybe that's what their deal is, though.
That's the thing is, yeah, you have to like
keep him in the back pocket. We'll bring him out to make some
yeah.
ratings, and then we'll put him away again.
Yeah, because you kind of get, come on, like, I'm sorry, like when Goldberg was going out every week destroying people, I got tired of that because you knew what was going to happen. It was after the fifth time, like, okay, 30 seconds in, and he's going to do a jackhammer, thing's over. So I got tired of it. You have to protect people, what they're good at, what they're not, and I think they, Rock was like one of the perfect examples of it. Just, keep that beast back. So it draws eyes to it. Why is everyone wanting to talk to him? Why does everyone want to see him? And so then boom, you bring him out for special occasions. Kind of like Undertaker in his later years. You just, use them sparingly.
Absolutely.
But what do we know? We're we've never promoted the wrestling industry, but hey, but I see what you're saying though. Like if you look at him in like when Punk left WWE, then went to try and fight UFC, you saw like, hey, he's really not a badass at all. He's badass in the wrestling ring. Not going to take that away for him, but you put him in a real fight, he ain't going to do shit.
Right.
I was like, with a lot of wrestlers, you put them in a real fight situation, they're against real fighters, they're not going to do shit. Against the general public, yeah, they whip all of our asses.
And Brock, I mean, the guy, he just was such an oddly shaped guy. Like I said, he had flappy titties, and I didn't even realize he had flappy titties until I seen that UFC fight. He's just doing that thing where he's dancing around, and his titties are just flapping. Yeah. I thought, oh, that looks bad for him. And then also, he has these two twigs that stick out the bottom of his waist that he calls legs. You think that he would work a little harder on leg day, maybe? What the hell? His back's all weird and scrunchy. He's just so weird looking to me.
He is a weird looking guy.
What's that?
He is a weird looking guy.
He is weird looking.
But have you seen him now though? Who come out? He has like that bushy beard. He comes out in flannel and stuff. He looks like just a dude you see out farming somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of, I've never been like a huge fan or a huge hater of him, but like he was always fun to watch. I always just found him fun to watch because you never know what he was going to do. And he's, for a big guy, dude is so athletic. The shit that he would do in the ring. Like he
How
did
tall
like
is Brock Lesnar?
No, I don't know.
Up 6'5"?
Probably. Well, let me take a look here. Brock Lesnar.
Bruh.
6'3", 286, and he was doing shooting star presses. Dude's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on some of the pictures, you can see the flat titties. Other ones, you can see they're well defined. So it's all like on what cycle he was on, because I think he got popped for like steroid use before. That's why he's no longer in UFC.
I tell you what, man,
he messed up his cycle.
Do yourself a favor and just go on YouTube and pop on the Frank Mir fight later. It's actually comical, man.
Like, look at his other fights then. I challenge you to look at his other fights then.
Oh, I've seen his other fights. I've seen a lot of them. As a matter of fact, my friend would order these fights, these pay-per-views, and we would go down his house after work and watch the replay. I'm very familiar with Brock Lesnar's fights. Again, just with anything else he's done, I personally have never been overly impressed. Should I be? I don't know. I'm just not,
Yeah, I understand. I just, the guy, was a legit NCAA wrestler, kicked ass there, went to UFC, has a winning record, won a championship. So I really can't take that shit away from him. I hate Conor McGregor, but, he was whatever weight class he was in, he was the champion. So it's no slouch. I don't know.
Oh, I mean,
Brock for life. I'm just ready for Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar again, because that's going to piss off so many fans, even though the matches are just hard hitting and they're fun to watch. I want Brock Roman 3 or 4, whichever one this is going to be.
Right.
I want it so bad.
I'm more impressed with athleticism by Tyson Fury, the boxer, than I am with Brock Lesnar.
I'm not a big Tyson Fury fan.
He's just so fucking sloppy, and it's almost like with Brock, but they play Brock up to be amazing. Where Tyson Fury, he is what he is, and he almost falls that same kind of category. Sloppy. He's kind of he doesn't wrestle or box or fight like everybody else does. He kind of has his own thing. in a fight between them two, I would put money on Tyson Fury.
So I'd take Brock.
We are halfway through the show. Let me get to some things here, Mike.
Okay.
Saturday, Hit 'em Hard Music presents Grown Folks in Good Music down at Frank's Grill in Beaver Falls. This is going to have special guest Code Red from Whammo 100. So check that out. This is going to be this Saturday, 7:30. The 30th of the month, not the time to start. The time to start is 9 o'clock and the doors will open. $10 cover. That's again at Frank's Bar and Grill, 1111 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls. Get down, check it out. Big special guest, Mike, Code Red. Another thing that I noticed, Mike, that I picked up over the weekend was this.
You froze. Big announcement. We're going to come right back into the middle of it. Can't wait to hear what he has to say. Got to make him say it all over again. Because I'm just looking at a Frozen Ryan right now. I'm going to change his name to Frozen.
Houston.
Hold on. Back up.
Wade Phillips
Hold on. Hold on. You were frozen for a while. All I got was like big news, and then you froze. You got done with the Hit 'em Hard? Yeah.
The XFL, Mike, is back. We got Scoop, we got coaches, we got cities, and the Pittsburgh Maulers are not one. The teams are from Arlington, head coach Bob Stoops. They're from Houston, Wade Phillips, old Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Orlando, Terrell Buckley is the head coach. Las Vegas, Rod Woodson. San Antonio, Hines Ward. Seattle, Jim Haslett. Remember Jim Haslett?
Whoa, the old Giants coach. Yeah.
St. Louis is Anthony Beat. And finally, Washington is Reggie Barlow. You remember Reggie Barlow from the league?
The name sounds
So
familiar.
You have your 8 teams. None of them are the Pittsburgh Maulers. Well, shit, you go 1-9, no support. What the hell are you going to do, you know?
Well, they're what, USFL. So this is what, the XFL?
Oh, you're right. What am I thinking?
Yeah. Well, hey, anything to shit on the Maulers.
Yes.
But
okay, yeah.
Las Vegas is my new favorite team because Rod Woodson's their head coach.
Yeah. Jim Haslett. Which Haslett was the Saints coach? And he used to be a defensive coordinator here in Pittsburgh for like a season or two back in the 90s. Which Haslett was that? The redheaded guy?
God.
For some reason I'm thinking it's Jim.
Hold on. No, because there's Jim Haslett. He coached the St. Louis, and I don't think he coached in Pittsburgh.
Who was the Haslett that coached here in Pittsburgh? He was a coordinator.
Hold on. I'm thinking Dom Capers. There's only one I could see is like Jim Haslett. But he was born in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I
don't think he coached in Pittsburgh.
He my boss I used to have went to college with him, and they said Jim Haslett was such a bad dude in college. This kid on campus threw a snowball at wintertime, and it smacked Jim Haslett in the side of the head. Jim Haslett, without hesitation, walked over and boom, just knocked him out, one punch, man.
That's insane.
It is. I guess he was a beast back in the day.
Oh, yeah, Jim Haslett was a coordinator. You're right. He was from 97 to 99.
Yeah. Pretty much the worst years for the Steelers in the past 30 years.
Yeah, they were 24-24 with that defense.
Yeah.
So there you go. Bill Cowher once again escapes blame for something bad in team history. How about that?
And then he went to the Saints as well. I think he was the head coach for the Saints for a little bit.
Yeah.
More in sports, Mike. The Pirates, they blow it. They have a chance to gain some ground over the weekend. They play the Florida Marlins. What are they? Miami now? Florida? I don't know what the fuck they are.
Yeah.
They played the Marlins over the weekend. The first game on Friday, they lost 8-1. Game 2 on Saturday, they won 1-0. And then on Sunday, they lost 6-5. They dropped to 40-56. They're 13 games behind, still third place in the division. They start a 2-game set at Wrigley today against the Cubs, 8:05 tonight against the 38-57 Cubbies. And then they'll be back home after these 2 games for a 7-game homestand. So, More of the same.
More of the same with the Bad and Buckos.
Well, here's the thing. The reason I say that is they traded away your boy, David Vogelbaugh. The big
I saw that.
Took to send him to the Mets. You know what? That's it for me. I was on board. You start sending players away. You send a guy away that smashes the ball into the upper deck every single time he hits it. I'm out. Tickets are the bottom of the trash can, and that's where they're staying.
He's still the team leader for runs batted in.
I know.
It 34 ribbies, batting 228, 12 homers. I don't
take it.
It's the Buccos, man. And then the guy they got for him, they immediately sent to the minors or some shit. I love it.
Yeah. He was a reliever or some shit. And
yeah.
It's
the best. Battling Buccos. Never change. Buccos never change.
The 3-ice 3-on-3 hockey league. They did really well in Pittsburgh this weekend. I guess they had the largest attendance so far for the 3-on-3 league. Do you have any? Have you checked this out at all?
I haven't checked it out. I've heard about it. I don't have a lot of time to watch TV anymore, and it sucks because that's something I would love to watch because 3-on-3 hockey is so much fun.
Yeah,
and it's like it sounds like it's something that could be viable because it's like a niche sport, and those sports tend to do well. They tend to have longevity because people want to watch it. And I think right now it's kind of
that 3-on-3 in basketball. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. People love to watch it because it's faster paced. It's more wide open. Watch it because I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Emails from the weekend. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready for emails.
From Beck, congratulations on your 1-year anniversary, guys. That's right, Mike. Tomorrow, 7/26 actually marks the very first date that we did a show.
Yes.
It was we actually used it in the second episode, but it was the very first show that we did for the show. So tomorrow actually marks 1 year. 1 year anniversary.
It's been a year, hasn't it?
Oh man.
From the first show to now. Go back and listen to that first show to listen to now how things have changed, how the show has evolved, how everything has changed on the show.
You ain't shitting, man.
Yeah. Been a wild ride.
Selma from Swissville. I ordered the little scratcher cat toys after hearing Casey talk about it last week, and my cats absolutely love it. Did you see this, Mike?
The little scratcher toys.
Yes, I went. She had posted. She put a commercial out. She did a video for it, and it's really neat, man.
I haven't seen a commercial.
Opens up, like she said, like a pizza box.
Yeah.
And the pieces of pizza are, they kind of look like cornhole beanbag, but they're shaped like pizza. They look like pizza. And they have catnip on the inside, so you take the pizza out and let the cat play, and then the inside it's just a scratch pad, and she has her cats playing with it while she's doing the video and everything. And these cats are just having the best time ever. The ones are in the scratching away, and the other one's laying on his back, all
catnipped out.
Guy from hitting the catnip all day. It was cool, man. If I was into cats and things like that, I would definitely get this.
Hell yeah. I love cats. Cats are so much fun. Because you can get them high. Any animal that you can get high is my friend.
So check that out when you get a chance. Really cool. From Yo Mama. Yo Mama says, why does so much porn not show actors and actresses' faces anymore? That's a very good question. I noticed that the other week, Mike. I forgot to bring it up. And porn, there's so much porn now where the girl's face is never exposed. And whether that be for whatever reason, I mean, you could probably come up with a million reasons. I want to see the faces. When I'm watching porn, I don't want to see a bunch of headless people doing it. I'm very interested in seeing their faces, their reaction, the way they're taking it. You know what I'm saying? Why? If you don't want to have your face on the camera, don't get into porn.
That doesn't bother me. Like, unless I'm like specifically searching out for videos where, I need to see the face, it doesn't bother me.
it's just weird. I don't like watching it. Never seen a face. That is just, it's so weird to me, man.
That's fine by me. I just need to hear it. I don't even need to watch.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's a lot wrong with me.
Karen's back in the house.
Karen.
I tried DoorDash for the first time over the weekend, and they didn't give us any napkins. Strike one.
Get your own napkins. That's not the driver's fault. That's not DoorDash's fault. That's what the restaurant that you came from. That's their fault.
I can honestly say maybe once they gave me a napkin. I think that maybe places just assume since you're eating at home, you'll have something to wipe your mouth with. But almost every time that I've gotten it, I can remember once. I remember once it was a Taco Bell that I did get napkins, but every time I recall thinking that to myself, gee, no napkins. But maybe that's just the thought
that's
process.
The thing. Like if a lot of places now they have to where the driver has to wait outside and then they bring the stuff to you.
You're right.
Depending on where you're ordering from, because I know some drivers, like if they are able to go inside, they'll grab straws and make sure you have like an extra straw and napkins. But most of the times anymore, they deliver it to the driver's car and then the driver has to bring it to them.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe in the future.
So blame the restaurant, not them. And Karen, why don't you have that?
Go to the special instructions page.
Yeah.
And just put on there you'd like some napkins.
Yeah. And Karen, why don't you have napkins at your house? Why is your house dirty? Why are you dirty? Where's your napkins, Karen?
Michelangelo says, bruh. Jason says, bruh. And finally, Sal, what can we expect from season 3? Mike, go ahead and take that one.
I have no idea. I'm excited to see where the show's going to evolve to season 3.
Absolutely.
I am, I have a lot of ideas that I haven't shared with Ryan yet. And I don't want to share them on air because we know how some people are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. You say it, and next week someone else is already doing it. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna
be a show from cross town or something. They'll be doing our show.
Yeah, right. Doing it. We've been doing it shorter and do it better.
Absolutely.
Wait, what? Huh? What? Doesn't help that I'm this pretty.
Pretty obnoxious. Speaking of pretty obnoxious.
It took me first I thought you said nauseous. I'm like, no, I'm feeling good.
A bunch of crazy, weird type shit. Let me just kind of go over a few of these stories, Mike. Let's see. Maryland woman impaled by 100-pound sailfish while fishing off the Florida coast. She was impaled. Man's left hand severed by sword at a Hawaii 7-Eleven. Chess robot grabbed
this one.
Finger of a 7-year-old opponent. A 7-year-old opponent gets his finger broken by a chess.
Yeah.
So those 3 right there: broken finger, held, hand chopped off. It's been that kind of weekend, man.
Okay, so the robot one, I actually read that story because that intrigued me. So they, the robot moved his piece, the kid moved his piece, and the robot wanted to move its piece and saw the kid's hand and just grabbed it and broke his finger. And one of the people at the thing was like, saw the robot grab the kid's hand and goes, "That's not good." That was like the quote in the paper. That's not good. I love it. Like, it's such a deadpan reaction. That's what you expect from like a Russian or a German. That's not good.
Yeah.
I love it. That was great. The hand chopped off at the 7-Eleven. This proves my theory that the Highlander show in the movie were actual documentaries, because you see stories like this every once in a while. People have swords out. They're trying to kill each other. I think it was 2 immortals fighting over something at the 7-Eleven. They wanted that last slushie. I understand that, guys, but take that shit elsewhere. You're not supposed to fight on holy ground, and 7-Eleven counts as holy ground because that shit is badass. And the lady impaled by the swordfish, win one for nature again.
Yeah, Nature's been kicking our ass lately, man.
You know what? You know, if we're allowed to kill them, they should be allowed to kill us with no repercussions. It's fair. It's nature. It sucks that she was impaled. I'm not gonna, blow past the human tragedy here, but hey, it's what happens in nature, man.
You know, I'm looking
these animals are
fighting.
They're literally fighting for their lives as you're trying to bring them in. So I can't fault the animal for its fight or flight instincts.
What about this? Coyote attacks, kills 6 of Martha Stewart's peacocks.
That coyote is now about to catch the smoke from Snoop Dogg and the boys.
That's
you done fucked up. You done fucked up, coyote.
Yeah.
You're just doing what you have to do to survive. I respect that, but you done fucked up.
Yeah. Martha Stewart.
Long Beach is coming for you.
Can you imagine being one of Martha Stewart's peacocks? I mean, them peacocks probably haven't made, man.
They look better than us.
Absolutely.
So, Snoop's rolling up. He's going to gather up Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and, maybe bust Suge Knight out of jail. I don't know. And that coyote's going to get fucked up. And hey, the coyote killing the peacock, maybe he thought it was a roadrunner.
One that it grabbed a lot of people's attention from yesterday. Jason Momoa involved in a head-on crash near LA on Sunday morning.
I did not see that about Jason Momoa.
Either he was either on a motorcycle or somebody else was on a motorcycle, but it was a head-on collision. I guess he's gonna do okay. I don't know. I didn't really see much more on it, man.
That sucks. He's like every movie he's been in, he's been badass, and he just seems like one of those down to earth dudes. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully the other person's okay too.
Yeah, you never like to see that, especially when there's a motorcycle involved, man.
So here, we'll go off on a little rant here. Nothing against motorcycles, nothing against people who ride them. I think they're cool. I think they're badass. But when you ride in my blind spot, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And that's maybe it's like 3 out of 10 that happens, but those 3 out of 10 just make me mad at every other motorcycle rider, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Because like the other 70% they're just like, they're cool. It's just that small percentage that likes to ride in your blind spot, either on the left side or the right side.
You know which ones I like? I like when you're on the highway and there's a guy on his motorcycle and he's doing a wheelie like 90 miles an hour right past you on the highway.
Yeah.
Most people hate these people. Most people say, they're going to wreck. Me personally, I like it, man. There's a dude literally out of nowhere. I'm just living my life, driving, somewhere I probably don't want to be. And here comes a fucking dude entertaining us on his motorcycle, front wheels up in the air, going 90. I dig, man. I don't know.
It's cool, but, once you cause an accident and then I'm stuck in traffic, now I hate you.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen people do that too. I have too. Like you're just cruising to like the middle lane and you look out your mirror and you just see, and they're doing their thing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. Fuck that. Y'all nuts.
I don't know, but it's neat to see. A lot of times you hear about these people, getting hurt, getting killed in motorcycle accidents. Fortunately, I never had to see that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I enjoy the little show. It's like I said, every once in a while, little things in life that
Yeah. For the most part, I like them. It's that small percentage that want to ride in my blind spot.
PA 911 operator accused of failing to send ambulance to the home of a woman who died of internal bleeding about a day later. Did you catch this?
I didn't catch this one, but I caught another one where they refused to send like an ambulance too.
Yeah,
because
this lady, she was dying. She had internal bleeding. They called 911. The lady refused to send help. And the person died. They died.
That's like literally your job.
Yeah.
It's to send these people help.
Yeah.
So hopefully this lady goes to prison for a long time. Because that's, should be charged with like, Like,
at least involuntary. You know
involuntary
what I mean?
manslaughter, negligence, just a bunch of shit. Because that's just no. That's people call that number expecting help. And I understand,
Absolutely.
you do get like crank calls and shit, but when someone's dying, fucking
Like you said, that is the one thing that you have to do in that job.
yeah, is to render
Pick up
aid.
the phone, get the directions, and send an ambulance there. Literally.
Yeah.
She failed. She
Yeah.
failed the most important part.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, I've read stuff and seen interviews with people like how stressful that job is, but you still gotta, do your job, like the bare minimum of, getting them help.
Yeah. I mean, and anymore with the headlines that we see, it doesn't surprise me.
No.
But 20 years ago, this is a big story.
Yeah. Today it's just a blip on the radar. Move on to the next tragedy.
Let's see. Big flying spiders have arrived in the USA. They fly and form parachutes and can travel 50 to 100 miles through the wind.
I think this is the first shot from Australia in their invasion to take over America. That's what I'm going with, because only flying spiders could come from Australia. I don't care. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me they come from somewhere else, but no, I'm saying they're coming from Australia, and this is their first invasion. It's the first wave. I like spiders, but ones that can fly, nope. See,
I'm not really too worried about spiders. The thing that would get me is when they start sending the flying kangaroos. Then we're in big trouble.
They were big trouble. Those fuckers. Once they send the emus, it's all over too. Heartless killing machines, emus.
Couple other things. I want to rewind a little bit. Did you see all of the new helmets? The new helmets in the NFL.
Yes.
The black Jets helmet, the orange
Chicago
Bears
Bear.
helmet.
Yeah.
The Bengals got the new whites. I like it. College started doing this about 10, 15 years ago. You seen different
like Oregon
helmets.
Yeah.
I always thought to myself, I can't wait till this catches in the NFL. I like it. And it seems like a lot of people, the Cardinals got a black helmet.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams are going to this black helmet for the alternative helmet. Do you think that's of course going to make us go with our, go with an alternative helmet and go with maybe the yellow or something different? Because,
I like that yellow helmet we've used a couple times. I like that. This all started, like, I remember Oregon years ago in college, how you were saying, like, every game they would come out with like a different type of uniform pattern because they have all these different designs and a lot of them go together so you can mix and match. And I think the league, NFL, should do that. This is supposed to be entertaining and fun. Just have these badass different uniforms out there. You never know, okay, what uniform are they going to be in? As long as they have their darks for home, lights for away, and you just do it. I think that's how it's done, right? Dark for home.
Yeah.
And
do it that way. I thought to myself, if the Bears don't do it, if the Skins don't do it, if all these older teams, Green Bay, then there's not going to be any sense for the Steelers to do it, because we were like, the 16, we could always just kind of claim that first 6 teams, and we could just kind of keep with the classic look. But all these teams are doing it. Like I said, the Bears got the orange. You're seeing these teams go with their alternative. So I think that's, like I said, it's gonna kind of play into maybe, like I said, having Pittsburgh wear their yellow helmets or creating a different helmet, or
but
just
imagine,
I like it.
Like the Steelers in an all black uniform with the black helmet, and you have like the Steeler logo, but the colors, the red and the blue are kind of like a gray or something like that, to where it's like a kind of like an outline, like a stencil shadow type thing, just head to toe black. In one game with that, imagine like the dudes had the visors, they would look so fucking badass.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like when who was it on, when Cigarella was saying, like, the guys on the team in Hopo, like, oh man, we're playing Aliquippa in there and they're all blacks.
Yeah.
It has that, an all black uniform just has that feel of, you look and feel more badass.
Absolutely, man.
I think like the Steelers had the perfect for that. They can do that, and just that one yellow stripe going down the down on the helmet. I think they would look badass.
They can never be called out for being a stretch. You know what I mean? It's just a simple switch for the Steelers in their uniform.
Throw on black pants have white numbers on the shirt or something. On the jersey. I think it would be badass.
You never see a team in sports that's all black that are bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm trying to
Teams
think
are
because
generally good that have the color black.
yeah, like if you look at rugby, the team that's called the All Blacks and their uniforms all black, and they just look more badass out there than other teams because that black on black just looks so badass.
And another color that goes a long way in sports is red. It seems like a lot of times you're playing red, and it has psychological things to it. But you play a team that wears all red, you kind of step back a little bit when you play them. There's a certain intimidation that comes with that. I don't.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
So why maybe the Cardinals have been good for 100 years in a row, you know?
Kyler Murray
getting that team never be bad.
Kyler Murray getting that ridiculous contract. Jesus. Uh-oh, Ryan froze again.
Dude,
his mouth wide open.
Bad in baseball.
Oh God, he's froze. Oh, were you talking about the baseball Cardinals? Oh, I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals. They suck. Oh God, he's froze, and he just looks like he's so stoned in that picture. He's so lost.
Can you hear me, you dumb son bitch?
I heard you now. You were froze for a while. You went in and out, and then you come back. All I hear is, "Can you hear me, you dumb son bitch?" I was like, perfect. That was perfect. Because you were frozen like this.
Really?
It was great.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
Oh, can you hear me, you dumb son bitch? Check out my Stone Cold Steve Austin talk a little. Bruh. So 2dumbyinsers.com. Head on over to there and you can check us out. We have the links for Spotify. We have the links for YouTube. Actually, when you go into the homepage, boom, today's episode will be right there in your face. We have links to the merchandise store. We have links to all of our contact info for comments, questions, suggestions. It's all there at 2dumbyinsers. Did you freeze again? You were down like this, looking like you had a stroke. Then you were just... It's like, what the fuck is going on today?
We got crazy storms going overhead. You know what I was going to say, too? Let me go back real quick. These storms, have you ever noticed we never have normal rain around here? It's either we don't have rain for 6 months or it's got to be tornadoes, houses flying apart, tree limbs down, wires down, disrupting the whole system. We never have a healthy rain around here.
No, we don't. It's ridiculous.
And I've been monitoring this, and we haven't had rain for some time. Now the storms are coming. I don't know I don't know. It's just that time of year.
Yeah.
It was crazy last night. The power kept going out. Did you have rain down your way?
Yeah, like last night I woke up probably like 2 a.m. and there's a big old thunderstorm going on. I haven't driven around yet because like 2 days ago we had a big storm came out of nowhere. I noticed a couple big trees fell down. One almost hit a couple houses and shit. So it's
really
been wild. Yeah, it's been wild around this part.
It was rocking the house last night, man. It was pretty badass. I like it.
I like good storms like that.
This, Mike, what the trivia today? It's a Pirates trivia, Pittsburgh Pirates, but I kept it simple. I think you're gonna do well. All right. So here's today's question. You are sitting at 6-3, 6 correct, 3 incorrect for the month of July. Here we go. Got your pencil? Who was the first Pirate to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, Mike? Who was the first Pirate to be inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame? I think if you think hard enough, you'll get it. Go.
One of the greatest baseball players of all time. From way back in the day. Middle infielder. I believe he was a shortstop. Yeah, shortstop. Because, oh my God, the middle infield you would have was him and then Bill Mazeroski at second. Holy sweet Jesus. No one would get a hit up the middle against those boys. Bump, 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 bump.
All right, everybody. So there you have it. The question of the day. Who was the first Pirate to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame? The answer, of course, Mike, is
Honus Wagner.
And that is correct. That takes you to 7 wins, 7 correct, 3 incorrect for the month of July. There can't be many more days. I think just the rest of this week is going to be what goes toward the count. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 4 more days. I guess you can
I'll finish no worse than 500. Me and my Tomlin, baby. Yeah.
But you never know with what goes on at the show. We might have guests. We might have this. We might have that. So your chances are looking good, Mike. Your chances are looking good because even if we just have one day where we don't do the trivia, then you win. So I like your chances for July. Great job. Looking good. You have anything before we take off, man?
I got nothing other than have a great day.
All right, everybody, we want to thank you so much for checking us out. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. here on YouTube. You can check out the show later in podcast form, audio form over on Spotify. That'll be uploaded at 8 o'clock tonight. Continue to check us out. We want to thank you so much for Mike, Ryan,